Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is huge, this is massive. This is 4 techniques in one mold, 4 completely different results. This is a Molds and Shapes collaboration organised by the incredible Petra Gerbracht. There is a playlist of all of the artists taking part and that is going to be linked in my description box below. Petra wanted this kept a surprise from Molds and Shapes, so I hope they enjoy everything that we have created. Now, Petra and her rules were 4 completely different techniques and finishes in the same mold. 4. So there is everything in this video. I'm throwing everything at it. We have got polymer clay, we've got washi tape, we've got acrylic paint, we've got DIY silicone inlays. It's all happening. So please carry on watching if you want to see what 4 completely different techniques I'm going to share with you today. And breathe. Did I need a cup of tea after that intro? Yes, I did. I am just excited to do the collaboration, but also excited for this brand new resin from Estoyo. They've sent this over to me to try out, and I do have a code for you guys down below if you're interested. It came with 2 gorgeous cups and some accessories as well. This is a measurable by volume, 1:1, and a 24-hour curing time. I've got a work time of around 40 minutes, which was perfect because, oh my gosh, did I have a lot to do in this video. This whole video took me around 3 days, just really working out the logistics of what has to happen and when. The first 2 techniques, guys, I'm using fabric for the very first time, and I'm using my very own DIY silicone inlays. Now, I don't make the inlays in this video because that would make the video very long, but I did use the Let's Resin silicone rubber and the details are down below. I've linked the video here if you want to see how I made them. First up, the fabric. Oh my gosh, this is stunning. I've got this from Amazon. It is pure Christmas joy in fabric. We've got some of the buffalo check and some of the traditional red and green tartans here, as well as the red and the black buffalo. I think that's the buffalo check. Is that the buffalo check or is it just black and white? Let me know in the comment section. Okay. 2 of my designs need a clear base. 2 of my designs need a coloured base, so you can understand I had to make notes, guys. I had to literally lay everything down step by step. What I'm going for in the first 2 bases is like a wintry, frosty, icy colour. Now, I found this colour, Sky Blue Pigment. This is the pigment from Just For You online. Again, everything you need in the description box below. It is called Sky Blue, but for me, it was definitely more of an icy blue, to be honest. And that was really the colour I wanted for my first 2 backgrounds. And oh my goodness me, it is a stunner. Now, these little cups here, I've said it in a previous video, but one of you guys mentioned that it's so much easier to pour the resin from the handle than it is from the spout. So if you have these tiny little cups, guys, I fully recommend. It is a game changer for me, and unless I'm pouring a real big amount, I won't go back. I am definitely pouring from the handle every single time. Now, in the next 2, I want it just a different shade of blue, just a tad darker. I'm adding a little bit of the dark blue from Just For You online. So again, this is 4 completely different techniques and 4 completely different results. My first 2 have got that icy sky blue, and the next 3, because I had to divide this mold up somehow into 4, the next 3 are gonna have this gorgeous kind of like more of a sky blue. It's more darker, but it's definitely more of a sky blue than that first one. Then that is all I can do on these right now. So I'm gonna hit them with my heat gun, get rid of any of those bubbles and dislodge anything that might be down in the 90-degree angles. And that is it for my first 2 designs. That's all I can do. Next up, we are pouring some of the clear. The rest of the baubles here that you see, the rest of the pendant molds, are going to have just the clear resin. This is going to be for my fabric, which I've never tried before, and I was so nervous. I saw it on a YouTube channel. I'm going to link them down below and I'm going to put the name on screen right now. I saw this on a YouTube channel. I have to go back and find it because I can't remember their name. But anyway, it's on screen, so full credit to them. And yeah, I loved it. And I thought I need to try that because I've always thought if you try and put fabric in resin, you're just going to get a whole sea of bubbles. And that is what I really wanted to test out. So the two designs that have got the clear resin, I've just given them a heat blast with my heat gun to get out any bubbles. It is imperative that this resin is crystal clear for my next move. One of these designs is going to have the DIY silicone inlays placed down in, and two are going to have the fabric. So yes, I have to say, this resin from Estoyo, I know they've given me a link for all of you guys, but I am loving it. Even after mixing it, measuring it, and, you know, for 5 minutes, stirring it, there were minimal bubbles. So clear. It was amazing to work with. You can see what I'm doing on screen. Next up, we are placing our fabric down. I was so scared for this part. I drew around one of the pendants you would have already seen me make, so I just drew around it to get my rough circle, and I cut them out. And to cut the hole, I just folded them in half, kind of pinched the corner over on the top like this, and snipped off that little corner to get the hole. Now, so many of you have said, haven't you got a hole punch? Couldn't you use a hole punch? Yes, I do. I have one somewhere. I'm not sure it would work for fabric, if I'm honest. So I'm just getting that out there before anyone asks me. But yes, it worked really well. Now, my aim for these was just to allow the resin to take the fabric. Slowly take the fabric. In my mind, that was going to reduce the risk of a ton of air bubbles getting in there. But I genuinely didn't know because I've never done this before. It was just such an exciting idea and something to try. So once the resin had completely soaked into that fabric, I then went in with a micro brush just to push around the edges and smooth it out somehow. Again, not knowing what the results were going to be. Technique number 3. Polymer clay. Guys, I pretty much just grabbed all of my favorites so far this year, and I just recently made these beautiful Fair Isle silk screen printed polymer clay jumpers, and I wanted to incorporate that into this video as well. But we're going to choose a different polymer clay. Now, the fourth technique has to be the washi tape. The washi tape shop sent me over a whole bundle of brand new winter and Christmas washi tapes, and they are a dream. I'm going to be using these jumper cookie cutters. They are linked in my Amazon storefronts down below under polymer clay. You'll find them. They were perfect when it came to making my Christmas jumpers. And I really wanted to do the same thing again, but in grey. I could have cheated and just used what I'd already made fully, but I decided to take you through this as well to show you how I did it. I've got these gorgeous screen prints. They are stunning. And again, when I made these, I gave full credit to one of my amazing patrons, Abby, who is a polymer clay artist. She helped me so much with this. Look at this. Now, I have to tell you, it is not as neat and crisp as it was on my first video, but still loving the grey and the white together. Once the paint has fully dried, lay down your cookie cutters and cut out your shapes. And then once you have done that, you can peel back the excess of the polymer clay, which just went back into my little baggie. And this went into the oven at 110 degrees for around about an hour, and it did what I needed it to do. I don't think I've got those times and that temperature right, but yes, look at these. How gorgeous are they? Again, 110 degrees for an hour, and this is the next day. Peeling back my DIY silicone inlays to reveal the most beautiful Christmas trees. I knew exactly how I wanted these to look. I just think they were perfect for the picture I had in my head. Now, I am an odd number kind of girly. I could have put 2 trees into this one, but I just think it's got to be 1 or 3 or 5. It can't be 2. 2 just does I don't know, it just looks wrong. I decided to use the Let's Resin Intense Chameleon powders for these, but first we're going to use some acrylic paint in our resin. I've said it in a previous video, acrylic paint works perfectly. You would have seen me use this on the Molds and Shapes reindeer mold, the video I think it was 2 videos back, and I painted Mr. Reindeer's eyes with white acrylic paint. As long as it's dried, it comes out perfectly and the resin picks it up and it's not a problem. So for my inlay design, I'm giving my trees a snowy base. They are sitting in a field full of snow, and yes, my cheap paintbrush broke and I tried to use it without the handle, but it didn't work. So I put it back on, and here we are painting my snowy bottom. We've got a snowy scene on the bottom half of these molds. I put way too much paint into here, so I tried to get some back out. And then for the top half, I decided to do that same thing I wanted to do in the reindeer mold, but I wasn't brave enough. I decided to use my micro brush, just dipped in some white acrylic paint, to create these huge snowballs in the background of my silicone inlay trees, in the hope that it would come out pretty cool and just really nifty. This kind of design, I think they would call it like a naive art. It looks very much like a child's drawing or a child's interpretation of what Christmas looks like with the giant snowballs in the sky. But I absolutely love it, and I'm so glad that I did it. My theory here was to get all of the acrylic paint down first before laying down my chameleon powder, because I was scared of making a mess with the powder. But yeah, my brain was not factoring in everything. So if I was to do this again, do it the other way around. Powder first, clean up, then paint. Okay, next up it is time to cut the washi tape for my other design. I am using the gyro cut. This is beautiful. This is a 360-degree swivel blade, and you literally hold it like a pen. It cuts out paper, it cuts out everything. Not sponsored. It's just absolutely perfect for this washi tape. The hardest thing for me was choosing a design, and I fell in love. I fell in love with this little hedgehog guy, and he was holding up a little pine cone to put it on the Christmas tree, and oh my gosh, did I get gooey over an animated hedgehog guy. I don't know what's wrong with me. It actually reminded me of a John Lewis advert. If anyone knows the store John Lewis, they do the most adorable adverts every year. Although this year's, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling the big cactus. But anyway, oh, it's not a cactus, is it? It's a fly trap. Not feeling it. Not feeling it this year. Anyway, back to Mr. Hedgehog. He is so totally adorable. This PET tape works perfectly. I was going to say beautifully, and it came out as a kind of joint double word. It works perfectly with resin. So once I've cut it out and I've peeled it off of the backing, just simply place it down on top of your resin and smooth it out with your finger. Now there were, of course, kind of overlaps, so I did have to go around the edges with my craft blade and make sure that they weren't all kind of coming up the sides. I decided to go with 3 washi tapes. So again, we've got 2 fabrics, we've got the inlays, and we've got the washi tape. So this is 3 out of the 4. And then it was time, once they were down, to put the chameleon powder into the trees. Remember, I have got a system here. I feel like the video might be a bit chaotic, but I really had to do it in order of what needs resin first, what needs resin next, and all of that. So I literally had it all written down step by step, just so that my brain didn't overload and lose it. This green is a stunner. This is the Intense Chameleon Powder by Let's Resin. Again, your discount code for them will be in the description box, along with your discount code for the washi tape shop. By the way, they are all in the Black Friday sale right now, and I think the Black Friday sale for Let's Resin, the washi tape shop, and all of those things is ending in a day or 2. So get on it, get on it. Now, here I am clearing up. I was clearing up all of the powder that went out and over and interrupted my snowballs. And I used alcohol thinking it would take away the white acrylic snowballs. And it didn't. It didn't even touch them. It didn't move them. It didn't do anything. So, did not know that was a thing. So, if you are using white acrylic paint, alcohol doesn't affect it. Okay, on to the polymer clay. The little bitty baby ones that you saw me make, I wasn't feeling them, guys. So I am kind of cheating. I'm taking one of my red jumpers from a previous video and I am shoving it into this one. We have the grey and white polymer that you saw me make in this video. But you see, I only made 2 tiny jumpers and 2 together. It just wasn't looking right for me. It wasn't doing it for me. Now it is time to fill all of these up. The washi tape pendants can be filled to the very top at this point. They are done. We have finished completely with the washi tape pendants. The polymer clay ones are just going to get a little bit because at the moment I just want them to stay in place before I add something even more to the polymer clay jumpers. So yes, we're filling up the washi tape, we're half filling the polymer clay, and then we're going to mix some colour into our resin to fill up and finish off the silicone inlays and the fabric ones. But again, we're still not finished with those. There's more to be done. Honestly, if you've made it this far, please give me a heart emoji in the comment section if you actually stayed this long, because I feel like this is a very hectic video, but I'm really hoping that you can follow everything I'm doing on screen and everything that I'm saying. Now, I am going to be using the white Vista pigment for the background of the fabric. I was kind of toying with the idea of doing a white background on the trees, but once I decided on making a snowy base and those giant snowballs, obviously white would then not work. So the fabrics are getting a white background and the silicone inlay trees are getting a blue background. I figured that would make them really pop. So here you see me just adding a little bit more resin and a little bit more white pigment into my little cup here just to pour it in on top of the fabric. Now you can see here, because I'm just pouring the whole thing, I do use the original spout of that cup, but if I have to be really neat, then definitely use the handle. For the background of the polymer clay, no, we're not, Claire, we're not polymer clay, the inlays. For the background of the inlays, I decided to go with this absolutely stunning blue teal, but I did add a little bit of white powder in there just to bring it down a shade, make it just a tad lighter. And unfortunately, it was only when I was pouring I realized I hadn't fully mixed that white powder in, but it didn't take away from anything. It didn't do anything. It didn't make anything go wrong. It all still came out beautifully. Okay, it is now time to completely fill up my washi tapes. Just, I was making sure I had enough resin for everything else first. And then we wait. We wait 24 hours and we come back and we finish off the fabric and the jumpers. This is what we are looking like. I'm utterly in love. And this is the next day again. It is time to demold everything. We're taking everything out, even though those jumpers are not yet finished. This is the washi tape, guys. How stunning is this little hedgehog? And that background, we all know that resin travels into the center of any mold, especially if you use mica. You're going to get the magic of the mica traveling in towards the center of the mold, and it has given these the most stunning backgrounds. Beautiful. I love these so much. The reason I use this one is for our girl Wendy. She's a postie, as we all know, and this is a little kind of like post office Christmas one, so big shout out to Wendy for all of your hard work at this time of the year. Next up, we have the DIY silicone inlay trees with our giant snowballs. I am obsessed with these. Apart from the fact that I missed the bottom of one of the trees with the green powder, we can just pretend that didn't happen. I love them. I love the blue that I chose. I absolutely love the way the silicone inlays have come out. The giant snowballs are ridiculously oversized, and it was only here that I realized the white acrylic paint hadn't fully dried before I poured the resin, so I do get covered in white acrylic paint, but it's okay. That paint is going to dry out eventually. Just let it be, leave it alone, and let it do its thing. But I love these so much. Let me know so far if you're liking the washi tape or if you're liking the inlays. Out of these two techniques, which is your favorite? Next up, the fabric. My eyes were straight away drawn to all of the errors on the red and the black buffalo check, or the plaid, the checkered, the tartan, whatever you call it. But yes, I was not loving the red, guys. I didn't cut the circle neat enough, and we do see the white background. Of course, you could do a red background or a black background. I was just worried that it would really dull the fabric in some way and we wouldn't see the true beauty and colour of the fabric. Next up, we've got the polymer clay Christmas jumpers with the acrylic paint silk screen. I love them so much. I didn't even realise I'd pretty much got the pattern cut in exactly the same place as well. We are going to give these a UV resin top coat using the Let's Resin UV resin, but first, we're going to personalise them. You know, on Christmas morning, when you open that present and it's a Christmas jumper from your aunt and it's got a giant letter on the front to let everyone know what your name begins with. These remind me of the kind of personalized initial letter gifts that you can buy at Christmas. You'll find them in every garden center, little gnomes or little fridge magnets with your initial letter on them. I just thought they needed a little something, and this was it. I didn't really pay any mind to what letters I was using. I just decided to use ABCD because that's where my brain was at this point. The two fabric pieces got the letter C and the letter D, but they're much bigger, really chunky. They're dominating the piece, and I love them. I love them. Despite my fabric not quite reaching the edges, we are gonna fix it, guys, and you will not believe how stunning they turn out once we fix them. We're going to fix them very soon. This is what they're looking like with the vinyl and the jumpers. I love them so much. It was time to top coat with the UV resin. Now, because I didn't fill these up in the mold, the jumper ones have this gorgeous lip around the outside. We all know that lip because resin shrinks back down. And that is perfect for a UV resin top coat. I am not going to film every single top coat that I do here because, again, that is going to eat into the video and take up a lot of time. But what you see me doing here is very carefully. I've sped the film up because it was long, but very carefully just add my UV resin to the top of this pendant, making sure that it goes all the way to all of the edges before hitting it with my torch and whacking it under my UV light for 200 seconds. I love it. I love. Now, guys, wait until you see how this gold pen transforms my dodgy cutting into something that you would find in a store. Let's all just ignore the fact that it's really bad around the hole. It's really bad around the hole. Haven't quite worked out how to fix that. I could go around with gold pen, but I'm not gonna. But check this out. How amazing that gold pen has hidden all of that terrible cutting out of the fabric. Sadly, that bit, no, I can't fix that bit. But let me know how you would fix that bit, and maybe I'll fix that bit. I could put an extra bit of fabric on there, couldn't I? And just cover it up with UV resin. I did the silver on the black and white buffalo check, and I cannot tell you how happy I am with the finish on these. Like, that just elevates them it finishes them off so neatly. And then I gave them both a top coat of UV resin, and they both went under my UV lamp for 200 seconds. That is it. We are done. All 4 techniques, 4 completely different designs. We've got the washi tape, we've got the silicone inlays with the trees and the incredibly massive snowballs. I absolutely love them, apart from the paint on the side, but again, that is gonna dry, so I'm not worried about it. Then we made some polymer clay jumpers with our silk screen and our white acrylic paint and our vinyl lettering over the top. I love the shadow. Can you see the shadow? Because the lettering is higher on the next level, it casts a shadow. But look at this red. Stop it now. This is probably the neatest finish I've ever gotten on a pendant, like ever. This looks like a giant button, apart from the hole where you put the string. We're just gonna pretend. We're gonna pretend. Technique 1, 2, 3, and 4. Let me know which one is your favorite. I hope you've got some kind of inspiration from this feature-length film, and I hope you are still here. If you have stayed all the way to the end, please give me a little star emoji so that I know that you're my OGs. You've been with me throughout everything, through my writing lists, my actual step-by-step of everything. If you try any of these techniques, of course they're not brand new, they've been done before, but if you try it after seeing my video, then please tag me, #ClaireMadeMeDoIt. Right now, my favorites, it was really hard for me, guys. My favorites are probably the red and black buffalo check with the giant letter C, which is so convenient, right? Because, you know, it's my name, so I can actually use that out on my keychain. And next up, we've got the hedgehog trying to put his little pine cone on the Christmas tree. And then we've got the polymer clay jumpers. But let me know in the comment section which ones are your favorites. Remember, everything you need will be in my description box. But the first thing you guys need to do is probably take a break, because this has been long, very long. And then check out my description box for that playlist for the collaboration that Petra has organised. This video is part of it. I cannot wait to see what everyone has made. They're completely different 4 techniques. Cannot wait. Go check out that playlist. Tell everyone I sent you. Send them my love. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this, and we all just need to sit down now, I think, and have a cup of tea, because this has been a movie. I will see you all on Monday. Bye.